It's casual, not formal. It's hosted by Rory, Penland, and Renee in tow. It's time to start the show. 1, 2, 3, go!
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of It's Casual. And it's going to be far from casual. Well, it's going to be very casual, actually, because we're gonna be talking with Diane Marie Coll, who is one of our favorites, and we're also going to be talking to an ASMR practitioner. And that's very relaxing and casual and soothing, and so it should be interesting. We're having trouble getting him in here, but we're going to work on that. Let's go ahead and bring up Renee Yaworsky.
Yes, and we're so lucky because as we are waiting for that, we have, like you said, Diane Coll is here, which is like amazing. It's a double header because we were just on the pause button, which is her show. And if anyone missed that, they can go in and watch the replay. You can get 2 hours of Diane Coll today, or an hour and a half about.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Hour and 35 minutes.
Hour and 35 minutes or so. Hour and 37 minutes. But and it's never enough for Diane Coll. It's never enough. So we're very, very, very happy and fortunate that she agreed to be on tonight.
And let's go ahead and bring her up.
Hello.
There she is.
Yay, there she is.
We meet again.
We can't get enough of each other.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this worked. I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, we had so much fun on the pause button. And I was doing the math in my head. I think it was like a 35-minute show. And then today, so it might be like an hour and 5 minutes of me on.
That's the exact amount. Right? It's an hour and 5 minutes of Diane Coll, which is still not enough, but I think it's really good. So we're very happy about this. And David has just walked in. He's at work still, but and even at work because he wants to see this.
Working but listening. Okay, a lot has happened since you were last on the show. You're into a lot of stuff right now that we had not talked about previously on the show. You have a new CD out.
I do. In fact, I've got I have them at the ready to show. Yeah, I released my first CD ever last October called Happy Fish and Other Delights, and I'm just so thrilled by how it did. It got really decent airplay on folk and Americana stations.
Wonderful.
For a no-name artist, I'm very, very happy about that because stations have a choice. They get the CD and they choose to play it or not. And
you are not a no-name artist, not to us.
Well,
And thank you for donating a few of those for prizes on Painting with Rory. I appreciate that.
Oh, it was my pleasure to do that. I'll have this ready. Oops, it's upside down. Got an EP coming out.
Oh wow!
In about 3 weeks. So yeah, I'll definitely donate a couple for Painting with Rory.
Can you talk a little bit about that one, the new one?
Yeah. It's I have to show you the artwork because I love the artwork. Of course, Troy Moore, who is brilliant in all things, and this is a 4-song. I'm calling it a ukulele-inspired EP. Cool. I worked with Daniel Groover, and we wound up building about 3 of the songs, and one of the songs is just me and the ukulele, so I'm calling it ukulele-inspired. But, I was telling Troy about, this was going to be the title, Into the Fire, which is one of my ukulele songs. And, he was just like giving me artwork. And then this one popped up on my computer. And I was like, Troy, this is it. Just the random ice cream cone, but it makes so much sense.
Wow. And it's so, and it really is very, that's Troy Moore's spirit, I feel. That's very much his essence. But it's just so happy and fun. And I think Tom on Burn It Down, he even said something almost like a cartoon, like a huggable cartoon is the Troy Moore thing where you just want to hug him and the bright light. And that really is fun. And now I'm getting hungry for ice cream, of course. But
I know. I know, but it's just so perfect because the song Into the Fire is kind of about, we can be attracted to what's bright and shiny, but it's like a moth to the flame. We're going to get burned. So when I saw his artwork with the ice cream cone, it's like, oh my God. And it just fit. And I don't have, I've got the CD in my player, but the CD is the melted ice cream.
Can you is it close by to show it or?
Yeah.
I'll look at that because okay. I'll talk for a second about how I'm so glad that visuals are coming back. Back when we had the cassette tapes that were so small, the LPs back in the day were wall art. You could actually put them on the wall, and now CDs are a little bit bigger. But I'm so happy because a lot of people do go back to vinyl, and even if you don't, even if you use the CD, I feel that the artistry that's visual, it really can engage us before we even start listening to the record. So I was just talking about that with someone, and I think this is a great example of
definitely
mood. Yeah. Like it puts you in that mood already where you want to just buy it and listen to it.
So here's the melted ice cream, and it was my idea to do the melted ice cream because it was sort of like, well, what are we going to do for the disc? And I was like, well, the ice cream cone has to melt because it's too close to the sun. And Troy was like, yeah.
Exactly. So then so then Troy also did that.
Yes, and I'm telling you, it's such a pleasure and so much fun to work with him. And the artwork was a nice collaboration. I got these in the mail a couple days ago, and I'm just so happy about it. But I will be the digital release will be on Bandcamp in early April, and I'm just going to send these out to whoever orders the digital. Because it's an EP and it'll ship very cheap. And because I love the artwork so much, I also want people to have a copy of this.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And I love EPs, by the way. I mean, I always loved REM's Chronic Town. That was the first EP I ever got. And I just love it because it's the right length for me to really immerse myself in that story or whatever. What would you tell people would be like the moodscape of this EP? What type of feel is it?
It's very lighthearted and whimsical. I chose to keep it very light, and working with Daniel in the studio, Daniel Groover, I was like, let's keep this really simple. Let's just, it's going to be basic. We'll do some layering, and because the songs are fun. When you write, for me, when I write on the ukulele, the songs are just fun. And even though maybe it's a serious topic, it's just hard to be.
Yeah.
When you're, so it was just kind of a nice way to kind of cleanse my palate too, because I'm going to start an album next week.
Wow.
Getting back with Daniel in the studio. I can't stop writing, Renee.
That'll be 3 in 1 year then, right? It'll be 2 LPs and 1 EP in a year.
Possibly.
Wow, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Is that going to be guitar based again? You'll be back to the guitar?
Okay. Yeah, guitar. And I'm already thinking of ways to invite other musicians, possibly you, if you want to lend your vocal remotely.
Yes, that would be down there, hopefully very soon, springtime. I'm planning to be down there, so please let me do something, even if it's a maraca. I will play a shaker egg. I play a mean shaker egg, Diane.
I bet you do. I bet you do double, right? You do the double.
I do the double one. I do it. I love when Sylvia, who also plays the ukulele, when she gets on stage and she dances. It's so.
Oh my God. She was so great. BLT Fest too. She was so great. She did about 3 songs, and You know what I loved most about BLT Fest too was that there was so much collaboration going on, and Wendy joined me at the last minute on stage. I had invited her. We didn't have a chance to rehearse. It worked beautifully. I didn't rehearse with John Phipps. What he did was beautiful. And then there's Charlie Thompson in the back of the Star Bar playing the flute to Better Night. And it was just so beautiful. And then to see Troy playing with CJ and with Sylvia and Bob. And there was just, as the evening went on, people were just kind of jumping on stage. CJ jumped on stage for Cowboy Church. And
oh my gosh,
there was just this wonderful feeling of camaraderie that, it was not formal by any means. And it was casual. What made it so much fun.
Well, and I saw Jeff Evans, Chickens and Pigs was there. And again, if anyone wants to watch that, most of them are archived over on Kimono My House on the Facebook group. So people can click over there and see all of the performances that she's talking about. I wanted you to play your first song on ukulele. But before I did, I just wanted to ask about how you so quickly transitioned from guitar to ukulele. I've tried that, and it's so hard because to me, the chords are so different. It's confusing to me. So
they are, but you know what I did is I had this little ukulele chord book, and I started looking through it, and I was just like, ugh. So I really just started just kind of playing around, and whatever sounded good is what I did. So, I really just kind of made it up as I went along, and I still can't tell you what chords I'm playing, but
you also play the drums too. So you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you play the guitar, and you play the drums, and you play ukulele now. So, and I'm probably not listing all of them, but
keyboards.
And keyboards. Yeah. So it's mind-boggling, but okay. So here we go. Here's Diane Coll, everybody.
And this, I think you all have heard this song before. This is the opening track. I get so tired. Beliefs can be scary when they make us blind, denying what's before our eyes. Tell me, will you see me if we look eye to eye? We're all we've got in this life. I get so tired. I get so tired. Take all those facts and you twist them real tight, denying what's before your eyes, feeding that fire so you see your way and I see mine. It gives no license to be unkind. I get so tired. I get so tired.
that song, Owen Wilson would love that song. Wow. Wow, man. Oh, wow.
He
Wow,
would.
wow.
He would, wouldn't he, with the nose.
Also, Harry Nilsson. That reminds me of Everybody's Talking. You know, Harry Nilsson. When he goes,
Yeah.
wow, 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 wow.
Oh, and I
Very,
love Harry
Wow,
Nilsson.
wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow, wow.
yeah.
And you know, I always heard a didgeridoo at that part of the song, and it was like, well, I don't know how to play one. I don't know one, so that was my imitation of one.
What's
But
your
yeah,
didgeridoo?
yeah, you know, just a,
Every song needs its didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo
yeah,
that. Didgeridoo da day. That's what it is.
oh, yeah.
Didgeridoo da, didgeridoo. Oh my, what a wonderful day. And now that's like outlawed. It's like banned. Disney has put it way back in the vault where they'll never find it. Such a wonderful movie.
Yeah, and it's such a wonderful song too. Oh, I know. Maybe it'll come back one day.
Who knows? Maybe we'll become unwoke.
Oh, I don't think so.
Maybe not. So now you're doing the pause button.
Yes.
So please, to those of our viewers who don't know about that, tell us what it is.
Yeah, well, I did an audio podcast of the pause button in 2018. I just wanted to do. I was just really feeling like we all needed to slow down. I know I needed to slow down, and it was just a way to give the listener a 20, 25, 30-minute break from all the craziness. And, you know, I'm a therapist, so I take mental health topics or I mean, I guess every topic's kind of mental health, but, you know, really just wanting to weave in content, knowledge, entertainment, music, and then ending it with some type of guided meditation. Mm-hmm. And I did about eight shows. It was a lot of work, especially with old GarageBand software. It took way too long, so I kind of let it go. And then with Cosmos, I thought, you know, I'm going to bring it back with the video version. And
that's what I did with this. I mean, you know, you should have seen the old It's Casual from 1988, 89. Oh my God.
Really?
What a wild show.
You know what? I did see a couple clips. I think you had sent me some clips I think when you were starting the show here.
We had live call-ins and people just called up to abuse us. In a lot of cases, it was other show hosts that were abusing the shows. They were just razzing the hosts of the other shows to see if they could rattle them.
Just okay. So it wasn't good fun. It was good natured kind of.
Some of it was.
Some
of it was not.
Oh dear. People have to be so competitive, huh?
Yeah. In any case, it's much nicer now. My viewers are much nicer now, and again, we don't have the worries and the problems of having to screen calls that come into the show.
Yeah.
So,
a fun show.
You're still doing comedy too. You're still doing open mic nights. You're going to an open mic night tonight, right?
Well, I'm actually doing a showcase kind of thing up in Woodstock. Music. Yeah, I had to let the stand-up thing kind of go on the back burner just because music has really popped. It's just been so consistent and active. But, you know, I still make up bits in my head, though, you know. Yeah. I just haven't really worked on them, you know.
Yeah. I actually didn't miss the comedy as much as singing in front of crowds when I had to stop doing it when I went to China, because I didn't realize I could find, you know, audiences there, you know, that would listen. But yeah, I always enjoyed singing in front of crowds. Comedy is you know, it's hit or miss. You know, sometimes you get a crowd that's mean,
yeah,
just not with you.
Yeah, I have done, and God, it was so much fun. I mean, it was just, I think that's the most alive I've ever felt is when you go up on stage and it's just a microphone and you have to make people laugh. It's like
Yeah.
really
Well,
feel
when a
alive.
crowd is going with you, yeah, there's no feeling like it. I mean, it's quite a rush.
It is, and you're right. It does depend on the crowd because I've done bits that people are laughing, and other rooms they're like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
that's the way it is with comedy.
what is that?
With music, it's much easier.
Yeah.
They're going to enjoy the music.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I started writing, like the tight five as they call it, and then you start writing 8-minute routines and then 15 and 20-minute routines, and I was really surprised just how much headspace it takes. I mean, just constantly thinking and rehearsing, and it's nothing else gets in. But when you're working on that routine, I have just a whole new level of respect for anybody that gets up and does comedy because I know the brain space it's taking.
So what other things do you have going on now that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh man, let's see. Well, I am doing a number of showcases up in Woodstock musically, which I'm really excited about. I've got some bookings in North Carolina coming up in May, which I'm real excited about. And like I was telling Renee, I'm starting my new album next week. I'm going to meet with Daniel Groover with the whole list of songs and my guitar and a bottle of mezcal. We're just going to go through each song and see which ones we want to.
There you go. Well, I hope that goes well. I mean, I'm sure it will. I mean, previously when you've gone in the studio, it's gone smoothly. I mean,
yeah. Happy Fish was a little rough only because we still had COVID going on, and
really?
So that there were a lot of breaks because somebody was sick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it definitely took longer to make. And I think that's why the EP, we finished that in a month. We did a song a week. And it was like when we were done, Daniel and I were both like, that was very pleasant. That was because after a while, Happy Fish was sounding like, is it ever going to be done? You're feeling like that, So yeah, and I'm still trying to do my mental health practice, and it's a busy lady.
Keep your day job.
Oh yeah,
it pays the bills. It pays the bills.
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, getting paid as a musician, ha.
Not
maybe
much.
gas money. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. And
we were talking to Dita Prater, Aunt Dita Prater, about that.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, I was making more money, just from tips from doing social media singing. Again, when you work out how much gas you spend, they usually don't give you free drinks anymore at clubs. You got to buy your own beer. They don't give you a room anymore.
Right.
It's like, yeah, why am I going out on the road and doing this? It's just sheer love of doing what you're doing,
It truly is. Yeah.
And somebody asked me to clarify something earlier, a Facebook user, and I don't know what they wanted me to clarify.
I think Diane was talking about, writing how much headspace it takes and writing the routines and the 15-minute routine, then the 20-minute routine. And I think they wanted you to weigh in as well, your own experience with that.
With comedy, yeah, you have to work up slowly but surely. You have to do bits, you have to write and try out bits in clubs, and try it out on different audiences. If it doesn't work, you do it 3 or 4 times. If it doesn't work any of those times, you got to throw it away. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And again, the stuff that does work, you keep trying it and you keep honing it, and hopefully you get a really memorable bit that people will be talking about after the show. And it's a long, tedious process to work up 30 minutes. Yeah, and that's what you want to. You want to work up 15 minutes so you can open, and then 30 minutes so you can be a feature, a middle act, and then you've got to do 45 minutes to an hour if you're a headliner. And again, that takes years. So when you see these guys doing their acts on Showtime, HBO, what have you, Comedy Central, that's a long, tedious process that they're just putting out there so everybody can see it, and then they got to start all over again.
I know.
Because when Eddie Murphy did his first Delirious, when Sam Kinison did his first show, that was it. They shot the wad. They used up the whole hour that they had. So they had to get other people to write a new, I think it was Robert Townsend and his crew that wrote Eddie Murphy's Raw. The second one that he did.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Because Eddie Murphy was a gazillionaire by that time. He'd been doing movies and stuff, and he'd been on Saturday Night Live for 8 years. So he was able to pay them to write the second act for him.
Yeah, and I think too, comedy just is really birthed from pain, and I think when you've made it, it's got to be harder to be funny because it's sort of like, well, the comfort level is there that wasn't there before,
Well, and then you got guys like Louis C.K. and I always want to say Bill Barr.
Bill Burr.
Bill Barr's the other guy, the guy from Trump and all.
Oh yeah.
So,
and then there's Bob Barr.
They just, for some reason, they're just able to continue writing, and cranking out lots of material in a very fast amount of time. But most comics, when you see them on stage, you're seeing months of work, hard work, working in different clubs and stuff.
A lot of
just
late
to get
hours.
that honed, and worked out. And again, once it goes on TV for the large viewership, you got to start all over again.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It truly is. I mean, it takes such devotion and commitment, and I think just full absorption.
And years of living out of a suitcase, not seeing your family, you're working 48 weeks a year.
I know when I was doing open mics, it was really tough because, they start late and then, you're getting bumped because somebody else comes in that knows the MC and, and I have a day job. So it was really hard to be out till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, wait a minute. I can play music in my living room.
Yeah. I was told that in California, they were making open micers pay to go on stage in the big clubs. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I guess it depends on how
much.
much.
The Comedy Stop, the big rooms there, the Improv, places like that. They were making the open micers pay to get on stage.
And no bucket spots? No, where they just pull your name out of a hat and...
I don't think so.
Wow.
Just put you on the rotation. You go up at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
Time on that stage, but they were making them pay $25-$30 to do it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We never had to do that.
Oh, wow.
You just had to show up early enough to get on the list,
Yeah, I know. Some places. Yeah, there was even an open mic here I would do in Marietta. And I mean, I would get there right at the start and get on the list. So I'd be, second or third. And before then all of a sudden I'm just getting bumped because these people are walking in that knows the MC. It's like, come on. I got here first.
Yeah, we got a headliner comes in. He wants to do a 10-minute guest set. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's harder. It's just.
What was the story about Chappelle and Dane Cook? I think it was at the Comedy Store or something. It was Dane Cook night or something, and they had Dane Cook come in, and they told Chappelle when Chappelle showed up, "You're going to do a tight 10." And most famous comics, if you told them that, they would have either just said, F you, I'm out of here, or whatever. Chappelle did a tight 10, didn't complain. And then at the end of his tight 10, before Dane Cook got on, he said, well, and now I'm going to turn it over to Dane Cook. But audience, I've never done this before, but I'm going to go out, and if anyone wants to join me, I'm going to be smoking a cigarette in the alley, and I'm going to just hang out with all of you. The whole place just Dane Cook alone. He had the whole Comedy Store to himself, but there was not another person in there. And that was Chappelle.
I would have followed Dave Chappelle out too,
I thought that was classic.
That sounds like something Dave Chappelle would do.
Oh man.
That's great.
Oh,
I was wondering if you could play us another song before we, because then you're gonna stick around
Yeah.
for Ron, right? You're gonna stick around for Ron.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's hear more ukulele, and then we'll do some ASMRing.
Me and my
And you
music.
can talk
Yeah.
about and you can talk about your ASMR journey or anti-journey.
Yeah, right. I
That's why I
can.
twisted my face, because she said before the show that, yeah.
Well, don't tell anyone now. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
That's a surprise. People have to wait till after the song to find out.
There we go. I guess I will do the title track again. This was so spontaneous, and thank you, Rory and Renee, for having me. I'm so happy I finally get to show the artwork for my new EP, Ukulele Inspired. It's going to be out in about 3 weeks. I will let you all know. Working on some fun little announcements for that. And this is the title track. This is my Gandalf song, Into the Fire. There you go, into the fire, creating your funeral pyre. It's just those lights, they shine so bright. You're hypnotized, blind in your third eye. 'Cause there you go, into the fire, into the fire. Gandalf shouts, you shall not pass, you shall not pass. But you can't help showing your ass. You sense some class, that shiny brass. Don't grab that ring, it's not what you may dream. 'Cause there you go, into the fire, into the fire. Solo down now. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Ba ba ba. Wow, there we go again with the wow. Bow, bow, along the way, will you ever think of living another way? You're slipping away, numb from the pain you'll cause again and again. There you go, into the fire, creating your funeral pyre. It's just those lights, they shine so bright. CJ, you're hypnotized, and I am mystified. 'Cause there you go, into the fire, into the fire, into the fire, into the fire.
Yeah.
They should have. Somebody should do a ukulele fest. Okay, and definitely get you and Ruby Ray Moore and
Wow.
Sylvia Madrano, Edelstein.
I I think I
What a
actually
show!
think that Sylvia's going to one in Nashville, and I might be joining her in Chattanooga. But that would really be fun to do, like just like our community fest, because there's a lot of ukulele
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, and whoever else plays ukulele, get them all together in one afternoon. That would be great. I think that would be wonderful.
It'd be
Thank you
very
so
happy.
much for coming on at last minute and telling us what's going on with you now.
Thank you so much, Rory. I really this was so much fun, and thank you for all that you do on the pause button. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Uh, okay, now we move on to different territory, something we haven't done on the show before. We're talking ASMR, which is a new phenomenon. Millions of people are watching it now on social media. It's autonomous sensory meridian response, and we have a practitioner who has his own channels. We're going to bring him up now. His name is Ron Stam with one M. There he is.
Yeah, here I am.
Welcome.
So do you want this all whispering?
Well, and the thought had occurred to me to whisper for the whole show, but I think it would wear out after about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
ASMR is supposed to be kind of a short experience, isn't it? Most of the videos are kind of short, aren't they?
Usually 15 minutes. I've had some that have been much longer, but you tend to lose your audience in short. If you haven't got them interested in the first few minutes, they're going to leave. So,
and it's not just whispering.
No,
there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do a picnic. I'll take my audience with me in virtual reality, and I'll pretend we're up on a picnic or a hike or something like that. So
yeah, my favorite videos of yours that I've seen, have you out in nature. Yeah. I really like that. I like that. I think that's your niche. Those are my favorites. We have a guy named Jay who plays guitar on social media, and he's always out in front of waterfalls, under bridges, next to babbling brooks, and that actually that accentuates what he's doing with the music. Yeah. And it's a different kind of experience, and we really enjoy that. Yeah. So what are some of the other things that we would see in an ASMR video?
There are people that take a piece of soap, they shave off pieces. There's others that play with some of that putty, and it makes noise. There's just all kinds of different triggers. I was talking with a gentleman before I came on, and he said things like chewing gum or certain people's voices cause a kind of a, what would you call it, a euphoric sort of a sensation. With me, it's more finger movements, and that's why you'll see me do that on my show a lot. Is I'll be up here and I'll with my fingers or I'll let's see if I can grab here's a prop.
I notice you use a brush sometimes, like a paintbrush.
Yeah,
or a feather.
This noise might, I don't know if you can hear that.
Yes.
Okay. So that to some people is very relaxing. Now, I haven't seen anybody come up with a hammer and hit a steel table or anything. Unless, of course, you're
maybe lightly tapped.
Maybe. Now, maybe what's relaxing to you is working in a wood shop. And so the sound of a saw, somebody cutting something or fabricating might be the thing that's very relaxing, like some of the carpentry shows on PBS channels. So anyways, it depends on the person. Now, on the other hand, some people just it doesn't click at all. and for instance, my wife, on the other hand, she can't stand ASMR.
Oh no.
So anything to do with ASMR, and it's like, get it away, and it goes into how I got into it.
That's why you're out in nature. She sent you out to the doghouse. Go out. If you're gonna do that, go outside.
And the thing is there's it's a little off the subject of ASMR, but as far as I'm in a band, well, we're sort of broken up now because one of our members moved away. COVID-19 played it dealt a heavy blow to the band. We couldn't play anywhere. We were lucky to play one place that still had us booked in the summer of 2021. But other than that, performers, anything, outdoor stages, you couldn't do. But we do a lot of movies. We go together, we go out camping, and we film Western shootout scenes. Now, I haven't tried any ASMR with that. I guess I could, pulling out the gun and have it in slow motion, and just a swoosh of a sound. I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, exactly, slow and this is yes. I'll have to try that. But we have a lot of these.
The shuck of a Mossberg pump shotgun.
Exactly, and when the person is hit, it's a slow motion ooh as they're falling. So, anyways,
but what you're able to do in the videos is you're able to speak to the senses of auditory, your hearing sense,
right,
and the visual sense.
And what I do is what I was taught. I was taught by another celebrity, and anyway, Anyway, so she does it a certain way, and that's the way I do it. The hand movement, the feathers, the whispering, that's how I do it. It's just the way I was taught. And but other people are quite different. They're just
you like to experiment. You like to try different things.
I do, Other people have told me, Ron, why don't you talk about the Old West and people that lived in that time? And I thought, wow, that's going to take quite a bit of preparation, but everything does. And
get coconuts ready for the clip clop of the horse.
I noticed that in the entertainment business, it takes a lifetime. It isn't something that just, well, at least not for me. It isn't something that I can just. Some people, I remember being in elementary school. I mean, this is like second grade, and there was girls that would come up to the piano and they would play like Liberace, and I'm like, how? And you're like, how is that possible? And yet with me, it's like over and over and over again, practicing, and still, it's just like I'm in awe at the talent that is out in the world. It's just amazing. But I found that ASMR was something that I really enjoyed doing.
What attracted you to it? I mean, how did you get started with it?
It's an interesting story in that I started kind of looking into things like relaxation using so many hertz or whatever sound, as far as so many cycles, 432 and all these different sound frequencies. And I thought I'd try those, and somehow I stumbled. Well, I didn't stumble. A gal from Scotland. We somehow met, and I started to listen to this ASMR, and I thought, wow, this puts me right to sleep. And I, talked with her. I said, I would love to do this, and she helped me along. She taught me over quite a period of time how to do all this stuff, and helped me with my channel, helped me with Patreon, helped me with everything. But anyway, that's how I got started, in my band, of course. And I know they're listening. By the way, hello, guys. They didn't like that too much. I know I was moonlighting. I was taking off, but it was during COVID. And during COVID, well, we couldn't perform anywhere. So I figured, well, let me just try something else. And, in the meantime, of course, after COVID, one of our players moved away. I guess it was his dream. And so we were short a guy. I, just for the record, was the sound engineer for the band, and the band is called the Time Cruisers. And so I would, set things up. I'd be on stage all the time with the band. If there was adjustments that needed to be made, or if I needed to grab a guitar and tune it and hand it to the player, whatever. So, but I do play guitar. Well, to the dismay of our lead guitarist, I'm not where I should be, because I'm putting all this time into ASMR. But yes, I do have, maybe I can show you here. I do have my Jag.
Nice.
Yeah, the Fender Jag.
Wow.
That thing weighs a ton. For an electric guitar, yeah, it's heavy, but it plays nice. It has a certain surf sound to it. It just has to do with the type of pickups on the guitar. But I also have the Stratocaster, and I have 5 other guitars, as well as 2 bass guitars.
So you can play.
I can play, but like I say, it's everything takes a tremendous amount of time. They
practice. Yeah.
Right. It's like they always told me, Ron, you haven't paid your dues yet. And those dues consist of 10,000 hours of actual practice. And that goes for anything. It goes for acting. It goes for anything. So I haven't completed my 10,000 hours. And my lead guitarist, he says, Ron, by now, he said, you should have been an expert on the guitar. What is your problem? My problem
you don't have to exclusively do ASMR. You can actually do some sets on social media where you play your guitar and just chat with people, and that's a sensory experience.
I'd rather listen to Renee. She's so relaxing that I was just, let me put my guitar away and just
wouldn't we all?
So and Bob, you guys are great on the show. So I listen to you guys. But
I have a question for Ron. Is that okay? Can I?
Oh, absolutely.
Please. Because I'm somebody who I have misophonia, so like eating sounds drive me up a wall, and it's like,
oh, okay.
The only way I can fall asleep is if I have a white noise machine on. So it's almost like it seems the opposite of ASMR. Is white noise the opposite?
Yeah. I was studying that before I got into ASMR. So it okay, some people like the sound of clicks. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't have fingernails, so I can't go click, 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 click. But to me, I need a steady sound, like the whisper of a voice and steady hand movements, just like this, and I am out. But if there's any parts where there's a louder noise, like clicks, I know some people put paper clips on their fingers to make that because they play an instrument, and of course you can't have long fingernails to play a violin or a guitar or ukulele. You need to be able to press those frets down. So for me, that soft, quiet sounds like this, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like white noise. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have, I have white noise machines, but I use them to calibrate the mixers, the sound mixers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's all kinds. There's brown noise, white noise,
Yeah.
blue noise. It has to do with a frequency range.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Oh, that's
but
interesting.
yeah, so
So
with me,
you can listen to some ASMR.
I guess I can. Yeah.
I have
Just no
done
eating.
2
No
ASMR
smacking.
videos where I fell asleep. I was
Ah!
I was talking and I literally went down. And it's on the I left them on there. It's online, So I put myself to sleep, and that's the big joke is I've told the person that taught me, I said, "You're the only voice that puts me to sleep besides myself." Because I put myself to sleep with my own stuff, which is
You're
kind
right.
of a weird compliment. You just put me to sleep when you talk. That sounds like an insult, but actually that's a compliment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but I really like this. I'm into it like $1 zillion. And you're right. When you're in the performing arts, you're broke all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all put on jewelry and this and that and all kinds of stuff, and everybody gets this crazy idea that I'm loaded with money, and I'm just like, this is show business.
Help us
The
out,
labor
Venmo.
Labor of love. Yeah.
This is something I do that it's to help other people. I don't expect any to be paid. I'm not after followers, and
Well, I was going to ask you about that. How many followers would you say you have as far as the ASMR world is concerned?
It isn't a lot. It might be around 29,000. Now,
not a lot.
No.
Okay.
The gal that taught me, last I counted, she had close to 19 million.
Yikes.
I know. So
I'm the man of 1,000 voices. I got 700 people watching my videos. When you say 29,000, I'm like,
it's quality.
Yeah,
I think Renee's got that many now.
We've got 129,000
Yeah.
subscribers. Everybody's in love with her. I'm in love with her too. But anyway, anyway, but
I appreciate that. I love you too, Ron. I love you too.
Something about Mary.
Oh,
something about Renee.
Thanks, Renee. That counts. That made my day, Renee.
Thank you so much, Ron. No, you're very. I wanted to say this because Diane and I were talking before we came on here, and she was talking about, her what is it called?
Misophonia.
Yeah.
Misophonia, right? And Ron, I love how you explained that there's all this. There's myriad different triggers. So one thing that someone might like about ASMR, for me, I go crazy over any of these painting or like sketching. Like Rory has a painting show that triggers it with me. When I've had artists who are friends, if they were just sketching in their book or writing in a book, that's a big part of ASMR. But for me, it's not just relaxing. It's like tingles that start in the back of my neck and go all the way up over my scalp. And some people say that ASMR is the only thing that even helps to curb certain chronic pain conditions. So
Right.
it's even deeper sometimes than and Diane would know some of the science, and Ron, you would too, about there's something about a certain type of calm that changes you physiologically enough where you can even handle stress, and your hormonal levels, I think, change too, if someone wants to weigh in about the science on that.
So yeah, with me, can you guys tell if that's a stereo? Can you see? Can you hear? Can you tell a difference with my sound as if I'm over here and I'm okay? Anyways, I may have to reset this Yeti, but yeah, different things, like different strokes for different folks.
Right. Well, and they say that children learn in different ways too. Some are more auditory, some are more visual.
Right.
There's like 6 or 8 different learning modes that, once you get the right learning mode with the kid, they take off. It's like, wow, look at them go now, So this is probably the same kind of thing, different people.
Right.
Yeah.
With me, it's visual.
Yeah.
It's visual. And I think, and the same way I noticed in college, some people are great at taking notes. I mean, everything is so well mapped out on notes. When I take notes, I'm always a little bit behind. So I don't actually hear what the teacher is, you know what, I missed something. So
you're the guy with the recorder in the room.
Yes, and that's why I use the recorder, but then you got to listen to that added to the other 4 hours per credit hour of, information. And I did a lot better just listening, but I'm a listener. And I listen to people.
Same here.
When I'm online with people, there's I'm more of the type of person that just loves everybody. I just love everybody. So, and but that's me. Other people are focused on other things. To me, I'm not into numbers. I'm not out there cheering, wow, I just hit 100,000 whatever, subscribers. And I have mentioned that.
Thank you for that. I have to say thank you for that. It's
I have mentioned that to some of the other gals that I know that are ASMR artists, and they got mad at me, but but that's I'm just like, what's your fascination with numbers? To me, forget it. I don't care. I just want to do what I'm doing.
Monetization.
I'm a believer that it's sort of like whoever is meant to hear you or see you is meant to hear or see you, and that's how I look at it. It's so yeah, the numbers thing I don't focus on either. I just think whatever hearts and minds want to hear what I'm doing, they're going to hear it.
It just, to me, it takes away. It's like now you're not really loving the people. You're loving that they're subscribed to you so that one of the platforms will pay you now. I mean, that's why we, like Rory said, that's why we keep our day jobs. My day job is completely different than ASMR. I work in a cemetery. The residents are quiet.
Wow.
It's
that's a quiet place with a lot of.
Like it quiet and peaceful.
It is very peaceful, and
the crunch of the leaves.
That's right, and all this,
the shovel going in the dirt.
That's right, And what's funny is I would be filming at work, and my boss would say, "Ron, no more of this YouTube stuff." Basically, we own you for 10 hours a day, and so it's not your filming time, But anyway, no, I've heard. Have you actually read all of these superstitions about like snapping a photograph in a graveyard and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah,
It
there's a
is
lot of that stuff.
hilarious. It's hilarious. So, of all these,
Walk around the grave, don't walk over it.
that's right. Exactly. So
My
a lot
family
of
has
my,
picnics at family members' grave sites.
There is a day in China called Tomb Sweeping Day, where they actually go to clean up the grave, and they set out a big banquet, like you say.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
At the gravesite.
Yeah.
Now, at the particular cemetery I work at, the weekends are very heavily visited in the middle of the night.
Okay.
For that.
Yes, it's
Parties
it's
on Friday and
crazy.
Saturday.
And on Monday morning, I'm emptying massive garbage cans full of beer bottles. They have a party, and I'm just like, this is weird. In the middle of the night, you're partying in a graveyard.
Teenagers.
Yep.
I go,
They've
we
done
should
that.
do a Halloween one, of these. But anyways,
They obviously didn't see Return of the Living Dead.
I have some things. There was an
Or
incident.
Mausoleum.
There was an incident where there was a customer. What would you call him? Okay. Anyway, and he kept, come over here, and we're thinking, oh no, please, no, not him, because he's somebody that's always demanding. There is a weed that is right next to, anyway. And I'm like to my partner, I said, okay, let's go, let's just go, hop in the Kubota and leave, and we get down there, and here he comes walking, and it reminded me of Night of the Living Dead. Here he comes, and we hop in that thing, and they turn the key, and it won't start. I wish that I was filming. I should have had my partner filming me running and then falling. You know how they always fall. That the girl always falls. And these
because they're in high heels.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Or
you're like, no, come
yeah.
on. But yeah, I'll have to do some interesting ASMR when we get closer to Halloween.
Yeah.
Some of these can be really funny. I'm not too into gore or anything like that. I'm not into gore at all. But some of these hilarious movies where you're like, okay, she fell, she deserves it.
It's the director's fault. It's the writer's fault.
The writer. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a trope now.
Once you get me talking on a show, I'll never stop. Everybody's like, oh no.
Diane has to go. She's got another show to get to.
Yeah, I've got to get in the car. And
thank you so much, Diane, for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to meet you, Ron. I'm fascinated by what you do.
I'm on there. I'm on all those platforms. Somewhere I'm on there. So
I'm going to get you to tell us all of those in a minute. But we have to let Diane go so she can do her show.
Okay.
And break a leg.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you. Have fun.
All righty then. So
yeah, you have several different names that you go by for the ASMR, right?
I do.
Rockerbyebaby.
Yeah, rockerbyebaby. That's the main thing. It's spelled a certain way.
Yeah.
If you spell it correctly, you won't find me. See, I thought to myself, wow, that's weird. Nobody has rockerbyebaby. Rockerbyebaby. And then I realized later that I misspelled it. That's why I had it, because there's all kinds of.
Oh, you did that on purpose,
things.
right? You did that on purpose. Come on now.
No. And so,
but
of course,
you are a rocker. You send me videos all the time. Thank you for the music. It's always nice to get music videos, good, cool music videos.
I'm always looking for something you probably haven't heard for a while. And, and again, the people at my work are like, this is what's playing on the radio, so this is what we listen to, and I'm like, I'm like, there is so much music.
Yeah, in the daytime, I'm a driver. I deliver things, and in my car is my daughter's radio station, Top 40. So I'm listening to Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift and
I know.
and the stuff that's popular today. And again, I late 70s, early 80s was when I was in high school. So
Wow,
again,
you're a
that's
young
what I
man.
appreciate.
See, people are seeing me now. This is what I look like. Yes, this is real hair. This is not a wig. So my hair is curly. It is long and it is blonde. Well, maybe it's gray now. But yeah, when I'm on, I want to dress up because there was a time when I was a belly dancer and I had all the jewels and Rory. So I saw that face of yours.
Keep your shirt on, young man.
Yeah, I know.
Keep your shirt on when you do these videos.
No,
No leather gear.
We dress up like Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, the guys have swords and we're out muscles, and we, even though we have a vest on, we're not doing the undulations like the girls. We're not doing that. So
that's not the effect you're supposed to go for.
but we're the counterpart. We're like the pirates, and they're the harem, and so. But it was really fun to do that, and I was with
well, tell our viewers where they can catch your videos, where they can go see your videos.
Yeah, there's a lot of footage on me.
Yeah,
out there. I did that for quite a few years.
You're on TikTok, YouTube?
Nope. Just at that time, we're talking early 1990s.
Instagram?
Was there anything back in the?
I'm talking about now.
Oh, now.
Where they can watch your ASMR
okay,
videos.
Right. On my pictures, I assume everybody they must be able to see my pictures because I have everything out there, and there is a lot. I mean, you have no idea. I have 30 years of pictures of performances and everything. I started, okay, you know how they always say this business has been in business since, whatever.
Right.
Even though they're counting when they were first born.
But you started doing ASMR during the pandemic, right?
I did. I met the person that taught me in December of 2019.
There you
So
go.
the pandemic.
So right before the pandemic.
Yeah. And so once the pandemic hit and we couldn't perform, anywhere with the band, then that's where I really got started with ASMR. But if we wanted to go back to my first performance was on a ship. No, I was just a little kid, but way back in history. I mean, we're at that time you could travel to other countries by ship, passenger liners like the Titanic,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so no, we're not going that far back, but yes, we took a ship.
Well, you still can. You can take cruise ships to, Nassau.
Yeah, but this was crossing the North Sea. Now, this is a rough sea that has icebergs in it. And I still have footage of that.
Wow.
And I have a lot of stories about that crossing. It took 9 days to get across on this passenger ship. And it was very cold. It's not like a Caribbean cruise. It is cold. The ocean is cold, and big waves. I mean, your bunk beds are sliding from one side of the room to the other. So it's quite an adventure. It's not like these tall ships. These anyway. But anyway, that was my first performance. I got on stage. I wasn't shy at all, and I sang a song for the audience in the main ballroom. It reminds me of the Titanic movie,
Hey, John Duncan, he's watching.
But that's it. Then all this other stuff came later. I really got started in the early 90s as a belly dancer.
Wow.
And then I actually met the lead guitarist of the Time Cruisers. I was in a guitar shop, and he happened to be in there, and we started to talk, and I was telling him about this, and he says, "Wow, I think I saw you on stage." Okay, so after a while we became friends, and then later he invited me into the band to do the engineering, the technical engineering. God, you wouldn't think so, right? But anyway, as hard as doing a live stream like this, I don't normally do live streams. I film, then edit, then post. Okay, so anyway,
Right.
But
you're doing great because we're 10 minutes over now.
Okay, I can, I'll tell you, you've got to like the cane has to go around my neck and pulled off the stage.
But we'll have you come on again soon. And tell us
Okay.
more stories about those icebergs and things.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's been an adventure. Growing up, I grew up in the best time. I think, it was between wars. By the time I turned 18, the Vietnam War had ended by 3 years. So, and of course now I don't know, but I grew up in those years of peacetime, and got to do a lot of stuff that was really, really fun. Including the being asked to work on the production of The Chosen, and then of course Life in a Day 2020. I got to be filmed in there amongst other. I think it was Kevin McDonald and Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott said, "Wow, we've got 270 hours of footage." So in other words, we can either make this into a blur, the whole thing blur, or we're just going to have to take some themes and edit this movie. And that, of course, that movie's on YouTube. It's available for anybody to watch.
Awesome.
So I've had a really good life, a really exciting life, and I'm still doing it. I'm still, having.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming on and telling us about ASMR and how that works and what you're doing with it. And we hope that you continue to do it and to get more followers, even though that's not a big thing for you.
No, I'd rather, like you say, I'm just like, everybody, here's a big hug. Here's a big hug. I'm just always doing
my whole thing
that.
is to try to make people laugh. I want the biggest audience I possibly can to make them laugh. That's what I want. So it's not a money thing for me, but money would be nice.
With me, my day job is where the money comes from, but entertainment, making people smile and enjoy time, with their families, whatever, or being able to rest or sleep or relax. That's where I get my reward from. It isn't any money you make from it. So that's what I like to do. I like to help people have a good time.
Well, and thank you for helping us to have a good time tonight. You have a good night, sir. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks,
Diane Marie Coll, I hope she has a great show tonight. Renee, are you there, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Ron. Thank you
so much, Renee.
Go follow me.
I thought I put you to sleep.
Almost. You almost did.
Almost.
She tips into the green room every now and again, and I think she drinks in there.
No.
I do secret things.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for
watching.
Thanks
for having me on, and we'll see you later then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much
Bye-bye, everybody.